Former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson had a brief medical scare earlier today during a cross-country flight from Miami to Los Angeles. According to TMZ, paramedics had to be called on board the United Airlines flight.
All right, Ted, the other day I saw a picture of you. You were in a wheelchair. What was that all about?
Oh, I have sciatica every now and then. It flares up, and when it flares up, I can't even talk.
The highly anticipated boxing match between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has been rescheduled and will now take place on November 15th at AT&T Stadium. Originally set for July 20th, the bout had to be postponed due to Tyson's health issues. This new date has sparked plenty of conversation, mainly because it's set for a Friday instead of the more traditional Saturday. The change is strategic, allowing AT&T Stadium ample time to prepare for the Dallas Cowboys game against the Houston Texans on November 18th for Monday Night Football. The initial July date was ideal as it was free of major sports conflicts, with the NBA Finals concluded and college football still a month away. However, Tyson experienced a serious ulcer flare-up on a May 26th flight from Miami to Los Angeles, which required immediate medical attention. Following a health checkup, doctors advised Tyson to ease his training until his condition improved, leading to the fight's postponement. Mike Tyson, who will turn 58 on June 30th, is set to make a historic return to the ring after over 19 years. The age difference between Tyson and Paul will be a staggering 31 years, marking the largest age gap in the history of professional boxing. Jake Paul, at 27, is considerably younger and in his prime fighting condition. His last fight was in March, where he stopped journeyman Ryan Borland in the first round. Despite the rescheduled date for the boxing match between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, there's still a chance the fight may not happen. Mange, head of communications for the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, recently spoke to World Boxing News, emphasizing that Tyson remains under close observation following his recent stomach ulcer flare-up. At this point, the fight remains an 8-round contest over 2-minute rounds with 14-ounce gloves, Mange said. However, the Texas Commission is clear on its stance. If Tyson experiences any further issues with his stomach, the fight will be called off permanently. A prominent doctor on the governing board of the American Gastroenterological Association recently weighed in on Tyson's health, suggesting that Tyson should consider postponing the fight further if he were his patient. Lawrence Phisiqye, a gastroenterologist from the Chicago area who practiced for 40 years before retiring in 2019, expressed his concerns. "I don't know how you continue to put your body through intense training for this if you have an ulcer," Phisiqye remarked. "If it's an ulcer, you've got to respect it." Several doctors voiced concerns over Tyson's health following his ulcer flare-up. None of these doctors are directly treating Tyson, but their insights raise serious questions about the risks he faces if he resumes training too soon. Rama Bahara, a gastroenterologist from Baylor Scott and White Medical Center Centennial in Frisco, Texas, emphasized the need for caution. He typically recommends at least 3 weeks off for athletes with ulcers to allow proper healing. An untreated ulcer over time can erode deeper into the stomach and sometimes create a hole in the entire wall, and that's called a perforation, Bahara explained. Such a condition could necessitate emergency surgery, a risk too great to ignore. Bahara highlighted the challenge of convincing athletes to take necessary time off during intense training. "It's hard to sometimes convince them to take that time off when they're in the middle of heavy training," he told USA Today Sports. However, he emphasized the importance of a conservative approach, recommending a few weeks off depending on the ulcer's severity.
If you're older than 36. So the State of Texas Athletic Commission considers 36 to be an older age where you have to have additional testing done. Tyson is going to be 22 years older than this. And so it's just crazy that, again, there's not some other threshold of fighter clearance.
Matthew Hoshite, a gastroenterologist at the Cleveland Clinic in Ohio, noted that the worst possible outcome of resuming training prematurely would be requiring emergency surgery. Hoshite also pointed out the unique nature of Tyson's situation. "What this guy is doing is incredible. It's uncharted territory. Given Tyson's age and the physical demands of preparing for a professional boxing match against a much younger opponent, the strain on his body is immense. The consensus among these medical professionals is clear. Tyson's health must be prioritized, and the risks of pushing his body too soon are significant." Despite these uncertainties, Tyson remains undeterred. Just when we thought this bout couldn't get any more intense, Iron Mike himself has dropped a bombshell warning, and it's got everyone talking. You might be wondering, what's got Tyson so fired up? Well, it turns out that despite his health issues, including battling ulcers, Tyson isn't backing down. Now, we all know Tyson's legendary status in the ring, but what makes this warning so spine-tingling is the fact that it comes straight from Mike after everyone knows about his bad health. "Listen up, Jakey boy," Tyson's voice boomed across the room. "I don't care about your fancy YouTube followers or your Instagram likes. When you step into that ring with me, you're stepping into the lion's den."
Listen, will you please promise me you're going to kick this guy's ass and shut him up, please?
hey, I will do just that for you.
Despite murmurs of concern from the audience regarding Tyson's recent health issues, the former champion seemed unfazed. Ulcer, schmulcer, he scoffed, waving off any notion of vulnerability. I've faced far worse in my time. Nothing's gonna stop me from teaching this kid a lesson he won't forget. Sure, some might say he's taking a risk. After all, ulcers are no joke, and stepping into the ring with someone as fierce as Jake Paul is no walk in the park. But here's the thing about Tyson, he's never been one to shy away from a challenge. And if anything, his health issues seem to only fuel his fire, making him even more determined to come out on top. You think you're ready for me, Jake? He challenged. You've been living in your little bubble, surrounded by yes men and sycophants. But let me tell you something, boy. When you step into that ring, you're going to be all alone, staring into the eyes of a monster. I won't let this fight be cancelled, Tyson proclaimed. I'm fine, and I'm more than fine enough to knock out Jake Paul in the first round. Mike Tyson's recent comments about the state of boxing and his potential opponents reflect his unwavering commitment to the sport and his desire to uphold its integrity. In a scathing critique of the current trend of influencer boxing, Tyson pulls no punches as he takes aim at personalities like Jake Paul and his brother Logan, as well as KSI. These guys are halfway training, drinking in camp. They don't even have a camp. They're making the sport look bad, Tyson asserts with palpable frustration. Tyson's declaration that he's willing to knock out KSI, Jake Paul, and Logan Paul if necessary to teach them a lesson underscores his seriousness about preserving the integrity of boxing. For Tyson, the sport is not just a game, it's a way of life, and he's unwilling to let it be diminished by those who don't take it seriously. If it means I have to knock out KSI, Jake Paul, and his brother Logan to teach them a lesson, I will. I don't think Jake Paul will want anything to do with me, to be honest. I want to put this influencer boxing to rest because these guys are destroying boxing, and until they get a good beating, they won't realize that boxing is for real fighters who take the sport seriously. Tyson's recent health scare has undoubtedly given him pause, but he's quick to reassure fans that he's in good shape and has been advised to take a break before resuming his training camp. His health remains a top priority, but his determination to continue fighting for what he believes in is stronger than ever. But fans believe that Mike Tyson's recent statements have taken on a surprisingly political undertone, reflecting a calculated strategy aimed at maintaining public interest and keeping his upcoming fight in the headlines despite its postponement due to health concerns. The world's fascination with Mike Tyson's return to boxing is undeniable. Since announcing his comeback, Tyson has been at the center of a whirlwind of speculation and anticipation, with fans eagerly awaiting the opportunity to see the former heavyweight champion step back into the ring. However, the postponement of his much-anticipated fight with Jake Paul has threatened to derail the momentum that had been building in the lead-up to the event. With the rescheduled date still months away, there is a real risk that interest in the fight could wane, leading to a loss of revenue and attention for Tyson and his promoters. Recognizing the potential consequences of a diminished spotlight on his comeback, Tyson has taken decisive action to keep his fight with Jake Paul in the headlines. His recent statements are carefully crafted to generate maximum publicity and maintain public interest in the bout. But Jake Paul's response to Mike Tyson's recent health concerns took a controversial turn as the YouTube sensation resorted to mocking the former heavyweight champion's physical condition. In a move that drew widespread criticism, Jake chose to belittle Tyson's health issues rather than engage in a respectful discourse about the upcoming fight. Looks like Iron Mike's a little rusty, Jake quipped with a smirk. I mean, come on, who gets an ulcer in this day and age? Maybe he needed to lay off the protein shakes and take up knitting instead. Jake's words cut deep, casting doubt on Tyson's fitness and suggesting that the former champion may not have been in peak physical condition for their upcoming bout. It was a low blow, one that left many fans and observers shaking their heads in disbelief. It's a shameless move. For Jake to claim that he wants to fight real boxers and then turn around and choose an opponent who he himself admits is not in top physical condition is the height of arrogance and hypocrisy. It's a transparent attempt to boost his own profile by taking advantage of Tyson's legendary status, all while showing a complete lack of respect for the sport and its athletes. Instead of seeking out worthy opponents who are at their best, Jake opted to exploit Tyson's health issues for his own gain. It's a disgraceful display of selfishness and a slap in the face to true boxing fans who expect more from their athletes. But Jake didn't stop there. He went on to suggest that Tyson's recent health scare was a sign of weakness, further undermining the former champion's reputation and casting doubt on his ability to compete at the highest level. Mike Tyson thinks he can take on the whole influencer boxing world. That's hilarious, Jake scoffs. I mean, come on, Mike. You're like, what, 50-something years old? You really think you can keep up with us young guns? Jake's words are laced with a hint of mockery as he takes aim at Tyson's age and suggests that the former heavyweight champion may be past his prime. I've got news for you, Mike, Jake continues. This ain't the 90s anymore. This is the era of social media, and I'm the king of the ring when it comes to that. But Joe Rogan didn't mince words as he condemned Paul's actions, calling them out for what they were, a shameful display of disrespect and arrogance. Let me tell you something, Rogan began. Mocking someone's health issues, especially a legend like Mike Tyson, is absolutely despicable. It's a low blow, even for someone like Jake Paul. Mike Tyson is a living legend, Rogan continued. He's dedicated his life to the sport of boxing and has overcome countless challenges along the way. For Jake Paul to mock him in such a callous manner is not only disrespectful, it's downright disgraceful. Joe Rogan also warned Jake Paul that he should not make such comments that will force Tyson to make Jake shit in his pants. Rogan's revelation about Mike Tyson's unconventional diet sent shockwaves. I couldn't believe it, Rogan exclaimed. Here's Mike Tyson, one of the greatest boxers of all time, telling me he's eating raw meat. Raw meat. Can you imagine?
Someone said to him, he goes, you look like you're in your 20s. Like, what are you doing? He goes, I just eat raw meat. He goes, I'm eating raw meat. He goes, you're eating raw meat? He goes, yeah, I'm eating raw meat. He goes, because that's what I'm going to eat when I fight. I'm going to eat him. It's raw meat.
Yeah, see,
I was like, Jesus Christ. He said this fucking...
He told me, that's what I'm going to eat when I fight. I'm going to eat him, just raw meat, Rogan recounted. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's in this mode. He's in that God of War mode. Bro, he's in savage mode. If I was Jake Paul right now, I would be shitting my pants. Rogan's description of Tyson's mindset painted a picture of a fighter possessed, a force of nature who would stop at nothing to achieve victory. Joe Rogan's unfiltered assessment of Mike Tyson's capabilities in the ring left no room for doubt. Age may be just a number, but when it comes to Tyson, it's a number that holds little significance. In a candid conversation with fellow commentator Ric Flair, Rogan made it abundantly clear that Tyson's age was no obstacle to his ability to inflict serious damage. I don't give a F if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson, Rogan declared. That guy can still fuck you up, Rogan continued. I don't give a F if you think he's 55 years old. That guy will hurt you.
why? I don't give a fuck if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson.
Mike's in good shape, too.
Oh, my God.
Mike trains every day.
He trains with Rafael Cordero, who's a legend in MMA. He runs King's Mixed Martial Arts. And Rafael is a fucking world-renowned trainer. When you see him holding the mitts for Tyson, and Tyson smashing the mitts, you're like, Jesus, that guy can still fuck you up.
He don't want to fight.
But Rogan didn't stop there. He went on to dismiss the idea that Tyson's advanced age could in any way even the playing field with Jake Paul, the YouTube star who had dared to challenge him. It's still a 55-year-old, Rogan acknowledged. But at 55, the power is the last thing to go. And the thing is, the speed is still there. He's terrifying. What do you think will be the outcome if these two fighters were to meet in the ring? Will Tyson's experience and power prevail? Or will Paul's youth and determination prove to be too much for the former champion? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And to all you boxing fans out there, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Ring the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest in the world of boxing. Your support means the world to us, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep fighting.